It is the beginning of October. Summer is done, although it doesn't feel like it right now. 3 minutes ago, it looked like it was about to absolutely pour down. I put my coat on and then the sun came out. This is Millfields North. Just over there you have Walthamstow Marshes. Hackney Marshes is about a mile or so that way. Millfields South is over there. A mile or so up that way you have Leaside and the Robin Hood Community Garden, Springfield Park. River Lee runs that way from north to south. I'll be joining that very soon, or at least the navigation. Then I will cross over to the old River Lee. What is the point of today's video? I'm just walking around the local area, looking at some of the places where we've done habitat improvements and where we hope to and plan to do more habitat improvements. Here in Millfields North, there's already been a lot of habitat work done by some other groups. Butterfly Conservation, Jerry from Daubney Fields, Davin from Hackney Council Parks have done some pretty amazing work here. There's been a whole load of tree planting. These strips of meadow are going to be wonderful for butterflies, pollinators and inverts of all different sorts. But there is more that can be done here. So I will be leading a 4-day session in a couple of weeks where we're going to put some dead wood habitat in. We'll put log piles in these meadow strips and in some of the areas at the top that are fenced off where there's trees planted. Plans did change ever so slightly, but a few days after filming the main part of this video, we built some loggeries, which will be great for a lot of beetles and spiders, but long-term goals are possibly seeing short-tailed voles back here. We've had a lot of luck with them over on Hackney Marshes. I'll talk about those in a minute when we go through there. And yes, I will make a video about that when it happens. Hopefully I'll put that video on my YouTube, but it might be on Ecoactives or Hackney Council's. Either way, I will leave links to it when it's uploaded.
Yeah. So I'm going to take it back. I didn't realise it was like a kindergarten.
And here we are on the River Lee navigation, heading downstream towards Middlesex filter beds, Millfields South, then Hackney Marshes, and eventually the Olympic Park. This is Millfields South, another site that is on our radar. We do want to do some projects here. There have been a lot of hedgehog sightings and grass snake sightings. At the moment there is a bit of a rat problem in this area, which means if you put deadwood habitat in, the rats can take over that and cause all kinds of problems. I've seen that happen on another site and it was an absolute nightmare. Yes, we can build habitat that isn't rat friendly, but if we're building stuff with cavities that suit hedgehogs, that also suits rats. So first of all, we need to work out how bad the rat problem is, whether that can be solved, and then look at the potential options. So that's a project that probably won't happen until at least next year. But I would love to do it because this park has so much potential and is great for people, but just could do so much more for wildlife. Interesting boat name. This is Middlesex filter beds. Nice to see good Jim down there with Sam, one of the Lee Valley Rangers, doing some work on one of the old filter beds. This is fantastic. The 2 filter beds at the southern end of this reserve have been flooded. They tried to do this 7 or 8 years ago. In fact, they did do it successfully and it was amazing. The next spring, it just burst into life. There were so many reed buntings, so many warblers, smooth newts. They put a generator in which pumped water up from the old River Lee. Grass snake numbers went flying up and then the generators got stolen. And that happened a couple of times. It was pretty impressive that people actually managed to get in there and take these huge generators away, but it ruined what was such a great project and they couldn't do it again for obvious financial reasons. So for years these filter beds dried out. This area became like a meadow, lots of short-tailed voles here, lots of wood mice. There were still newts and grass snakes here, but nowhere near the same amount as there was when it was flooded because there was limited space for them to breed. Amazing to see swans back in here. They're just one species that are going to benefit from this being wet again. We had common snipe here a couple of days ago. But I do have one very slight criticism, and that is the way it was done. The contractors just came in and there wasn't any kind of sweep to remove the small mammals and rehome the amphibians, but long term this is going to be great. The flip side of that is what did happen to amphibians and small mammals, particularly short-tailed voles and smooth newts, actually worked to our advantage on the North Marsh. If you'd like to know more about what we're doing on the North Marsh, please watch my North Marsh Habitats film on YouTube. While it is slightly out of date now, it explains what we're doing here. There's the filter beds. This is the North Marsh here. When the contractors moved into the filter beds, the first thing they did was dig out the areas that would become flooded. Any creatures looking to escape what was going on would have come up out of the filter beds and into that hedgerow area behind me there. And in this grassland area here, we have built a pond. We've also built some log pile habitat. These mounds here have cavities underneath them. There's gabions here that also have cavities underneath them. And we built this with so many species in mind. Short-tailed voles were one of the species that I was hoping to reintroduce at some point in the future within the next year or two. As they left the filter beds, they've come here and they would have found perfect habitat. In our recent small mammal survey, we found a whole load of them.
You're a lump.
We've found nests under logs just over here and also in the copses over there. So they are over quite a wide area. 46.
An adult, that one then.
Mm-hmm. They are definitely breeding and it's wonderful to have them back here. Am I getting harassed by wasps? There's a wasp nest here. Let's have a quick look at it. Look at that. This is the south end of the North Marsh. The pond is just up there. Middlesex filter beds is over that way. Over there, just across that road, is Wick Woodland, where we've done a whole load of habitats projects, but I'm not going there today. I'm going to cross the Old River Lee, head through the Olympic Park and meet my dad. This is the Old River Lee. Wildlife Gardeners of Hagston have been doing some amazing work here. That's another film I'd love to make. I never want to turn the camera off when I'm here, because every time you turn the camera off, a kingfisher buzzes past. Although it would be pretty rubbish on the wide angle phone lens that I'm filming on anyway. So maybe I should just get a move on. As I walked through the Olympic Park, the weather changed, and what with heavy rainfall further upstream, the Old River Lee levels were rising. It's not uncommon for the Lee to flood like this, particularly in the colder months of the year, and it's rarely high enough to affect local housing or infrastructure. I'm going to walk back the other way. And on this day, we were in the right place at the right time, and thanks to the high waters, we're lucky enough to see this European eel, a critically endangered species, whose numbers have dropped drastically in the last 50 years. We walked along that path about 5 minutes ago and now it's completely flooded. There's a coal tit, a blue tit and a great tit, and I think a chiffchaff. Should have brought a bigger lens.